the black boot. I noticed that there are a number of hidden zippers in these jackets. Now, what are these for, Betsy? They can't be for, is it for mad money?
Well, it depends on where they're placed. And very often you'll find a zipper hidden in the arm. And
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. You'll excuse the fact that I'm out of breath, but about 10 or 15 minutes ago, a tragic thing, from all indications at this point, has happened in the city of Dallas.
On November 22nd, 1963, bullets fired from ambush killed President John F. Kennedy while visiting Dallas.
President Kennedy died at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Vice President Lyndon Johnson has left the hospital in Dallas, but we do not know to where he has proceeded. Presumably, he will be taking the oath of office shortly and become the 36th President of the United States.
This event catapulted Vice President Lyndon Johnson to the presidency. Judge Sarah Hughes swore him into office aboard the presidential plane, Air Force One.
My fellow Americans, all I have, I would have given gladly not to be standing here today.
Johnson, aided by his wife Lady Bird and his trusty friend and chief of staff Walter Jenkins, went to work to convince Americans that the situation was under control.
America, America, God shed His grace on thee.
Johnson inherited the office at a time when the nation enjoyed a strong economy, low unemployment, and few foreign entanglements. So, Johnson pushed ahead with a domestic agenda focused on creating what he called the Great Society.
Let us close the springs of racial poison. Let us pray for wise and understanding hearts.
The 1964 Civil Rights Act became the cornerstone. Discrimination based on color, gender, religion, or national origin became illegal across the nation. All voters would face the same requirements across the country, and the new rules outlawed racial segregation in schools and public accommodations. Employment opportunities, too, would be open to all. He won re-election in a landslide victory later that year, defeating Republican Barry Goldwater by a wide margin. Johnson followed up this victory with the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which ended discrimination at the polls and enabled many Southern blacks to vote for the first time. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1965 allowed increased immigration into the country, especially from Latin America and Asia. Texas saw an increase in Mexican immigration. Johnson also pushed legislation addressing poverty, education, and health care as part of his Great Society. The Texan president faced many challenges, and the harmony he had hoped for slipped away.
Anti-war demonstrators protest U.S. involvement in the Vietnam War.
The U.S. intervention in Vietnam in 1964 and the massive escalation in the following years sent the nation into a foreign policy quagmire. At home, race riots in New York, Los Angeles, Detroit, and Newark shocked the nation.
Pillage, looting, murder, and arson have nothing to do with civil rights. They are criminal conduct.
In Austin, A gunman atop the tower of the University of Texas killed 14 people and wounded another 31 before police shot him dead.
I had no thoughts. I was just blank, and I just had a job to do, and that's what I was going out there to do.
By 1967, Johnson's popularity had plummeted. The war in Vietnam prompted protests nationwide, and the growth of what became known as the counterculture movement, including hippies, fueled a growing discontent, especially among young Americans. Soon, Americans born in the years following World War II found themselves questioning everything they thought they knew about the United States. Feminism, gay rights, the Chicano movement, and other political movements swept the nation. The threat of being drafted to fight in Vietnam only added stress. The following year was a disaster for Johnson. The Communist Tet Offensive convinced many Americans that the war could not be won.
I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
In April, an assassin's bullet ended Martin Luther King's chance of seeing his dream of racial equality come true. Johnson decided not to run for another term as president.
My thanks to all of you, and now it's on to Chicago, and let's win there.
Then, an assassin killed his most likely successor, Senator Robert F. Kennedy. The United States had become a very different place than it had been when Johnson took office.